Couch.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh,
That's her home.
Yeah, well, she's a sneaky girl, but she's good. She doesn't run away. She ran away actually the other day. She went out the street. Someone found her. She snuck out while I was starting a motor. Really loud motor, so she snuck out. And she's all right. Got her back a few minutes later.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, Charles. Well,
Cheers.
yeah. I was thinking, like, if I were to describe you, how would I do it? And I feel like you're the kind of guy who lives his life like live fast, die young, and then you found yourself old.
Opposite to your father.
Would that be fair? You kind of seem surprised that you just turned 70.
I've never... Age is a weird thing because it's always been like, I'm here, I'm now. I've never worried about age, but I've lived careful, but I've been a bit crazy in my life, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I'm very, very keen to unpack because the little tidbits I've heard of and known are just kind of wild.
It's the longevity of it all. Yeah, okay, so I was born in Tasmania.
Yep.
East Devonport. Is
that where the ferry goes in?
Yes. My brother, he's about 3 years older than me. We've been estranged for a long time, but now we're getting back together after about 25 years. Tassie's a great place. And went to Geelong Grammar, Launceston Grammar, and the highlight of my education was Blackie South High.
Okay.
Which was, it's not there anymore. It's been bulldozed.
What is it?
It's Blackie South High. It's a high school because we live in Tasmania, but family were travelling, selling product, kites through Australia. So they couldn't look after us. So we were in the boarding schools. Then they bought a house in Burwood. So Blackie South High School went to.
Okay.
So education was pretty average, yeah.
Okay.
I was entrepreneur most of it, so education wasn't a real...
Yeah, like, okay, so for context, I mean, we can go back to, like, schooling and stuff, but I don't even... So you're, like, just pulling apart cars and... the last little bit, what have you been up to? Like, what's the entrepreneurial journey? What is that?
My father... I still don't recall in my mind knowing who he was. I know him, but we always lived our life on the edge. Always. There's no spare houses. Oh, we had a spare house, but we won it through winning a jackpot at the pokies in New South Wales. We never had any of our family never had solid ground products. So we always chased money, ideas, sell, make this, do this, design this, just to make, ends meet. We had family houses in Tassie, but my uncle took everything and it's all gone. But, so we all, I don't know, I've always, I look at things in different, 3D, 2D, like the parachute I showed you.
Yeah. Which
I saw it a certain way and I twisted around and created it a different way and made it. And it worked. I've remixed music in my DJing, and I DJed for a long time. I used to go to a studio, Mount Eliza, and remix a song and put it on acetate, which is like a 78 vinyl record, that same material, and go into big nightclubs and play your remix, and everybody's looking up at you going, where'd they come from? That was before computers and remixing.
So when you say like and I'm be keen to trace it back exactly what's going on, but the way you grew up and stuff, like you've kind of become a bit of a hustler mindset, looking at things from outside of the box, and that's influenced the way you live your life and the way you interact with the world and the people in it. Always?
I don't know, yeah. There's a story my mum told me years ago. I was, because because when we lived in Burwood, my auntie or my grandfather, they'd come and look after us. And like my grandfather, who's a master, I used to call him a woodpecker, like creates and make things. I had I had a Vespa, which I'd bought a Vespa, which was a bucket, and he's come out in the carport. I was 15, right? It's all pulled apart. He looked at it, kongs and deers, which is in Latvia, whatever, and he's come back a day later. It's all put back together. He couldn't believe how I put it all back together. Right. So that's sort of, I look at things and go, oh yeah, just do it. I have had basic jobs. My first job, because like the family business has always been priority, but you have to get away from the family. I worked for Safeway for a year as a manager, produce manager. Worked at Selthenes as a labourer. I worked for a year at Coates Patents as a dyer. We dyed materials. But it's make things. I like to create. I got out of that. I've never had a dull day. Always doing something. But getting to 70, it's slowed down a bit at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm starting to get a better idea. If you can take your mind back to growing up and in those private boarding school systems, I mean, that sounds like the exact opposite of how to raise a kid who's entrepreneurial of mind and a bit more flowy and creative.
It's horrible.
Did you find a lot of tension there then? Start there.
I had issues at Geelong Grammar, major issues. I was 6 or 7.
What kind of issues?
It's bad. But Launceston Grammar was good. We used to live just off the main river on a big hill, and we built cubby houses. And like we mucked around smoking tobacco from the trees, whatever. But that was Launceston Grammar was good. It was close to my relatives. Childhood. I don't know. It's when you grow up without your parents.
Because you mentioned
it just like one of the things my mum always said to me, like I've got a brother who, like I said, we're good now, but she used to say he got away with murder.
Literally?
No. Don't worry. He did everything but.
Yeah.
I don't know about the latter, but she always knew that I could take care of myself, and he was the older brother, but they looked after him with all the mischievous bad things he did. You know, legal things, jail, other things. He was always looked after, and they never worried about me because they said I could look after myself, which I found to be disconcerting because, like, I've got my weaknesses and, you know, like I need to be hugged and cuddled a lot. But we didn't get a lot of that in my family because they're always travelling. Mum and Dad were always travelling 7, 8 months of the year. So they're always Darwin or Cairns manufacturing kites, selling kites, making them. And, yeah.
So the setup was you went through school, that was what it was. You were still based in Tasmania as a family, but 8 months of the year they were going out?
I lived from about 12 years old, lived in Burwood, Melbourne. Melbourne, yeah. And, so I think till I was about 15, 16, 17. Good days, had a great childhood, a lot of mates, you know. Got up to trouble like all kids do.
Mm-hmm. Never
got caught, which is a good thing. That's about it.
Okay, yeah, cool. Well, I don't even know how to break this down, eh? When did you start getting into cars?
I think I was in Victoria licences. You get at 18. I flew over to Tasmania when I was 17, got a licence and flew back the same day. So I had a licence when I was 17. And but don't worry, I lost so many licences it caught up with me in the end. But I used to go to auctions, which I still do now, to fowls or man-up fowls, and buy cars online from 18, 19, I think 19, 20. I had an E37 Charger, which is a six-pack. It's probably worth 250,000 now, you know. But then it was 3,500, but our house was 17,000. It's all relative.
So how did you even get that?
I just I think it cost me. I paid it off as it was about 3,250. Yeah. And then I bought a brand new Ford XB 351 panel van, which I started to pull apart and customise, and used to go to old panel van shows, and like used to have a big Concord front like the Mad Max front on the front. Everybody did it, and then I kind of went through cars, stopped for about 10 odd years, bought a Porsche, stopped again, and then in the last 20 years, 15 years, I've been just getting back into Fords and doing them up and going to car shows and so forth.
So what, like, when you're doing, what is your, I guess, like, are you conscious of, like, you figured out, what am I actually doing here? What's my goal? Or you, again, just kind of day by day, what do I want to do with this car? How do I want it to look? You said the other day you're not racing them, so like...
No, I do them up to show, but one of the cars I do up is called a T-Series, TE50 or TS50, and they are very rare Australian AU, one of 60 or 70 each, and to fabricate or play with that body style.
Is that the thing there?
That's the two-door coupe in there.
Yeah.
Or I got the one in the corner, which you grew up with when you used to, when you were a little kid, the one in the corner, which is the T50. I've always been changing things, and all these beautiful people who own these cars, all, they're all primo, untouched, and they hate me because I've customised them. And I love doing it just to piss them off,
So do the kind of people that own one of these 1 of 50, 1 of 60 cars, they see it as this like fine wine vintage thing that can't be touched, and then you're going ahead and, just playing around with it. And
massively. And I cut, like when I get to a stage and I cut parts up, and it's like some of the bumper bars could be worth $2-3 second hand. A new old stock is worth $8-9 You can't buy them. And I go, okay, I'm going to cut this, cut that. Of course, I have a Scotch and Coke first, the Scotch and water, sorry. But it's sort of, I try things out. They don't always work, but I try them out. I don't know whether I push the envelope. It's I see something there and I just do it. Like that Merc motor I'm trying to put into the two-door coupe. I'll see how I go with it. I'll try it out. But I've already spent $4 or $5 on bits of the Ford motor. If I don't put the Merc, I might put the Merc motor in, and I've customised all these special pieces which shouldn't be customised or chopped and changed, but I've done it. I'll sell them unsell them, whatever, but yeah.
So when you talk about customising, especially when it comes to something like motors, in my head I'm like, the motor might be hugely powerful or whatever, but with those customisations that shouldn't be done, does that inhibit the performance?
You're questioning there. I'm unsure about that one.
Yeah.
Mechanically, motor-wise, you can do certain things to enhance, but it's more like I'm more into body, shapes, curves. I've got wheels, brakes, motors, gearboxes, pretty straightforward. You know, you buy one, you put it in, you might customise a little bit, but the modern motors are pretty good and solid.
And if you're just driving around the speed limit as well, like as long as it works.
Oh, mate, but when you get onto the freeway, that spurt is the best part.
Yeah.
Going onto the freeway is the best, and you can't use the power.
And the acceleration.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so basically when you're looking at something, you're looking at the bodywork and the wheels and whatnot to make it look interesting and cool and unique.
The shape. Every car has I like the Ford AU. It's got a curved. It's got curves. And you look at the model after, which is like a BA, BF. It's squarer. It's sharper, and that's why I like the AUs. It's got more something about it. You can put things on. You can curve it. You can put body flares on it, and you can make it mould better. In my eyes.
Yeah, cool.
But the amount of things, like I've got my Facebook pages with my custom designs on it, and it's once I've done it, I don't want to know about it, you know. It's when you design half a car, it's fantastic. So you kind of, okay, half of this car is great, I'm doing this side of it, and you're putting on the bigger doors, whatever, and then you've got to duplicate it on the other side. It's boring as batshit.
Yeah, by which point you already know how it looks.
I hate it. I don't want to do it. But you've got to do it. You've got to measure it out. You've got to, it's like, it's just, I hate it. Yeah.
So that feels like the first half feels like play.
Yeah.
Art and I'm creating. And the second half feels like work.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And in this world, like, because this is such a, I mean, I don't think I've met other people who are involved in that world of custom cars and whatnot. It's just from video games, to be honest. How big is that world? How many people kind of know and appreciate and care about this stuff?
Quite a lot. It's huge all over the world. It's hidden to a certain degree. There's all different levels of, you know, you got the young dudes that want to get the car and do the burnouts and create problems. You know, then you've got the guys who spend years and years doing up a car. I've got a good mate, Stevie, and he's had this, it's called Jail Bar, and he's been doing it for 15 years. He's got lots of money, he could go and buy a new ute, but he's doing it, and he will never finish it. Never finish
So it's not even drivable.
No, he's got the motor there, and he's slowly. There's all these people have their own. It's their outlet to do something different.
Yeah.
Maybe
It's like a hobby.
not a hobby. No, it's a different. It's ingrained. It's sort of it's part of the makeup. Your hobby is stamp collecting. Blah, blah, blah. No, it's a hobby. Now, when you play with a car, it's sort of it's a challenge, and every car has a story. Every car, I buy lots of second-hand cars from the auctions, and there's always a hidden story, and you find it out pretty quick, but you never know the true story.
What kind of stories have you remembered from cars?
Had a classic. I've lots of. I buy cars from Mannheim, and they have a cat problem. I got a panel van when I was living next door to you.
Yeah.
I put white panel van and this fluffy thing on the front seat. It was a cat, little baby kitten.
What?
Paris. They call it Paris.
In the car?
In the car, because mums would take the kittens from one car because the cars were getting taken away at the auctions, you know. But my best one was about 6 months ago. I sold a car. It was a Hyundai i30. Spent a lot of time and little panel work, painted it up. Silver car, very hard to get silver right. And I had it advertised. And because every sale is different. You think they're the same. They're not. They're all different. So this car is out the front. A guy called me up, say, I'd like to buy the car. No worries. He said, my mechanic's coming over. Okay. Cool. 15 minutes later, the mechanic pulls up and checks the car out, says, it needs this, that, the other. He's a little bit sus about him, but yeah, okay, no worries. And I negotiated the price. I think it was $8,500. No worries. Okay, so I said, mechanic said okay, and I thought he was leaving. I said, see you later. He goes, no, I got the cash. So the owner had somehow spoke to the mechanic, said, let's do the deal. And the mechanics had $8,500 cash. And I did the paperwork, and the mechanic didn't want to know about it. He said, the owner's sent you the details on the phone, licence, whatever. Long and short of the story is, the money was good. I can go for half an hour on the story. Long story. Yeah. The cash was good, although my bank machine didn't like it too much because I didn't know it was full. The car was used in major burglaries around Melbourne, and they needed a car which was legal.
Oh, as in, so after they bought it off you?
It was used in a major crime, and all the information the guy gave me over the phone was incorrect. I had to go to Vic Roads, transfer it out of my name, and so no more fines. But the car was used, and it was two Albanians. Like they caught them with a container load of Turek houses, Malvern houses. They ripped everybody off using my car as a car to check out, because they could go to a place, suss it out without worrying about it being a stolen car.
Sure.
So that was one of my funny ones. And I asked it, and I got a phone call from the detective saying, your car's involved. And I said, can I get it?
So it was still registered in your name?
Afterwards. Went to Vic Roads, but it was, I couldn't get it back. I thought maybe I'd get it back. No.
But you did get the cash at least?
I got the cash, but the problem with the cash was the deal looked so sus. My nab up the road, the machine wouldn't take it for 2 days. It kept on spitting it out. And I was going around buying a loaf of bread, $100. Milk bar, $100. And
because the bank itself is checking the serial numbers on the notes.
What it was is after 2 days, I went to my other branch in Glen Hutley, and took the money, no problem. The one in Centre Road, Bentley, was full. It wouldn't take the money. That's all it was. So my money was good.
Okay.
But it was.
Did you say the bank was full of money?
Well, no. There's ATMs which take money.
Yeah.
You probably don't use those because you don't put money in. You don't need to. But the ATM is you just put your information in and you put it in, and it reads it, and you always have to check because it can play up with, if the notes are too new, you got to wrinkle them up a bit, otherwise it stuffs you around.
Okay.
And when the mechanic left, drove the car off, I said, don't do any burglaries with it. Just seriously, I thought, something's not right here, but I got my money.
Oh my God.
I'm all right.
That's wild.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I've sold a really nice car I repaired went to Perth. I try to, for me, I don't have a lot of money in the bank, but my money is kept in the cars,
Yeah.
That's where my value is that's worth 60,000, that's worth 200, that's worth 15. That's where my money is.
That's like the assets, yeah.
That's where my assets, Otherwise, I'm just a poor person.
Are you worried just because it's in your backyard and anyone off the street could, with the right resources, take it? Is that ever a concern?
No. I was actually having a conversation with a mate last week who had this big fire in a factory right next to him in Bentley. And I said, if you had the choice of one car, which one would you take to get out?
He asked you?
I asked him.
Okay.
And to me, which one would I take? But I've got lots of security cameras.
A big, strong dog.
Oh, yeah, dog would lick you to death. But I put like bars and everything across the front gate. And I do, because I do sell a lot of things on Facebook, like decals, badges. And so a lot of people know where I live. But I think maybe I've got a good name. Nobody's tried to steal from me yet.
Nice. So that's what you're doing day to day. Like that's, I guess, your job is fixing up cars and.
It's my. I'm retired. I make about 30, 40 different products for cars, like badges, engine covers, and I sell a few here and there. I won't get rich from it, but it brings in good income. That's about it, really.
Yeah, nice. Okay, cool. Like that gives me so much more context.
No, you haven't even started.
No, I know. So what's the next thing? Like, what's the next layer under the cars then? Because I heard you DJ stuff.
Started DJing 81, stopped in 2001. I remixed. I've got lots of remixes. I'm going to get back into remixing. I like using a program called Vegas, which is, I told you, a video program, and it really works well with sound.
It's just to mash up and edit and like create.
Yeah. Well, you do, and you just put your own sound. You beats in. You might. I've got lots of acapellas, so different sounds. Like put in like last night a DJ saving a lot, boom boom, and all these different edits you throw in together. And my favourite mix is Phil Collins in the Air Tonight. I did 3 different versions 20 odd years ago, and they're still out there. People who still use them. Used to be better in the old days. You could in 98, whatever. What was that? There was a company, American, where you could just throw stuff, Napster.
Oh yeah,
and you throw stuff out.
Sure.
And it just your music would just go everywhere.
It's like SoundCloud now.
Yeah, but the problem is everything you do now, if you use a beat use a section, you copy a beat, they won't let you use it for somebody else.
Oh really?
Won't let you use it.
Okay.
They'll just say goodbye.
Even on SoundCloud?
Yes, definitely SoundCloud. So I've got songs which I might use, say, music is structured, 32 beats. Everything's 32 beats. I might use 16 or 30, let's say 32 beats, and I might edit it, change it out of key, but it'll still pick it up that's being used by, it's not mine. So you to get everything you want, you really have to, what I've found, maybe I'm wrong, is you've got to make your own beats, make your sounds, and then it's all yours. Or maybe, like I've got like my songs, I've got a couple of my own songs, which still are out there, but it's, I don't know, maybe I'm just too old for it. I'll give it another go, yeah. But music, like, I worked in all the biggest clubs. We used to work, say, 9, 10 venues a week. Saturdays be 3 venues. Molly, I worked with Molly for years. Shirley Strawn, he worked for me for 2 years at my venue in the city.
So this was a full, like, you're just busy as anything.
Oh, yeah. At my own venue in the city square for about 5 years. So you'd work there, work at the Anglers Club. I was never, there's the Chevron Chasers. I did a billboard, I did a few venues, like I used to work at Lazar's and a few venues, but the really groovy ones I was slightly, because I didn't take drugs and shit, you know. Okay. So I was more of a level-headed top 40, but I did, like Anglers was full-on dance and a few were, yeah.
So you were DJing 10 times a week, like 10
easy,
sets a week?
Easy.
Wow. And getting paid for it, presumably. Like.
Yeah, but you have to buy vinyl. When I first started, I had to work up in Darwin for two years. I DJ'd, like, started at Cheeks, which is, I think, Sports Girl in the City, Connell Street, That's where Sheiks was, because each venue had had a party night. Sheiks party night was Wednesday night. Chevron had, I think, Tuesday, Thursday. Chasers had Tuesday, unsure. Billboard was Monday night. But yeah, we just DJed different places. I could walk in Hippodrome in King Street. I just walk in. I'd do a quick set, like, there's a reunion about 3 months ago at Chasers and 50th anniversary, and it was good. I went up on stage with all my mates, all my old DJ mates, and it was good. Get up there, dance. Woof. I didn't DJ because I'm not into new systems, but yeah, because I'm a vinyl person. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, I know very little about DJing. I'll, like, excuse my ignorance, but now, I mean, the classic is they're like playing a USB, right? They've kind of made it, and they're not actually doing anything on these decks. It's all for show because it's just playing off the USB.
I think so. Yeah.
Back in the day, by the sounds of it, you had like 2 records. You're actually kind of changing three, is it? And then you're moving things on. Like
3 used to be 3 plus. You can mix in DVD if you're good enough, and like in the good days, let's say everybody's using Technics 1200s. Technics 1200s the best turntable, but there was they're all fourth lock, and you slide up and down speeds. But there was Technics 13, 14s, and 1500s, which were digital, total digital. So you'd have a library. So you'd have a library, and you go
vinyls.
No, you have a library.
Okay.
Like a little thing. Okay, you go Born to Be Alive. That's 134 beats. Let's mix it in Queso Rivera. Okay, that's going to be 1.2. That turntable's got to be 1.3.
So you have to make, because of the different beats of these 2 songs, you have to make this one faster. So
yeah, that's normal. Yeah. But the good turntables, you had a library, and you knew exactly what it was. You'd already pre-done it. You go, okay, that's you 1.1. And that's it, because they were a studio turntable. But every venue was different. There was like, I made 30,000 here. I lost $1 million here. Lost $250,000 there. Like,
so running the venues.
You know, I was ripped off by John Adat. I won't go into how many millions there. I had in Elwood ripped me off $250,000.
How does that?
It's sort of a long story. We ain't got time for that. Okay. Went to court, everything, but it was I learned a lesson. Never trust anybody.
And the business side, and I don't know how much you're into it. Like, how does one make money running those things? Is it all tickets? Is it all this and that? Like, what were the kind of fundamentals of that?
Like, if you DJ, you do 3-4 hours. And those days you get $200-$300, $400. Like, I'd work at Love Machine, Broadway. There'd be lobster mornay waiting for me when I get to work, you know, and you'd be your 300 cash. That's in early 80s. You know, you kind of, some venues like my venue in the City Square, Splash Swanson's, we took the door, the pub took the bar. You know, you'd get 700-800 people on Saturday night.
Wow. So
it was half good money.
And they're paying a few bucks each year.
Yeah, and the biggest problems were the women. It was very hard years to say no.
Hey, tell me a little bit about that. What stories come to your head?
No, like...
You're trying to think, which ones can I say, which ones can
like Shirley and me used to have competitions, how many girls we could have in each night. But you kind of... I was married. I had a beautiful wife. She's an amazing person. We still speak. I can't believe why. But it took a long time for this one woman to break me down. And after that, I just gave up.
So you were married the whole time? And
No, I was married for about half that time, and then I sort of there's an addiction.
Yeah.
Once you have daughter, don't watch this. Once you have one woman, that's more women. That's sort of it becomes this melee of enough is not enough. It was. I think my second wife counted 600, so, different liaisons. So I'm happy. I'm single at the moment. Love to find someone, but I'm really happy. Just
had more than your fair share.
my memories will, do me well.
Fair enough. So you said I was staying away from the druggy crowd, and at least for half of that, the first half of the DJ stuff, you were trying to stay away from the kind of seduction of the girls as well.
Oh, no, I gave into that. Don't worry about that.
Gave into that straight away.
Yeah. I know. I had lots of friends, and I was respectful, and we all had a good time. And, you can't keep everybody happy, but all women like strong man who is in control, and for a long time I was. So I could pick and choose. I was very lucky at that stage of my life. Not now. I'm fucked, sorry. Yeah.
So it sounds like the high life, to be honest. At least the highest life that Melbourne can offer. You're not...
Well, driving the Porsche to work?
Yeah, Porsche and DJ and...
Yeah, it was it was great. You talk about footballers, they finish their careers and they take off, they can't survive, they commit suicide. No one's there to help the old DJs. No one's there. I'm an old DJ, I was doing it great, I was a superstar, but now I've got nothing. Come on, yeah. There was no one there to help me. I survived though.
Okay, so take me back to getting into that world, because I imagine it wasn't just straight overnight. You're one day, out of school and then straight into that. Or was it kind of straight out of school? How was the rise to that stardom, so to speak?
My brother used to do a few, what do they call it? They're under 18 parties and stuff at pubs, and he started working at Sheiks, and I was offered to DJ in the good days. Each venue had a dance room and a layback room, so you'd have party doof all happening. At the back would be all romance,
Couches.
George Benson. Oh yeah, George Benson, Lou Rawls, Frank Sinatra. It was more chilled, and that's where I learned.
Okay.
I learned to go, then I was, yeah. So
you're DJing there first.
Started there, yeah. Then I learned to edit. I went away. Had to get away from girls. I came back, and then you do the editing where you be playing George Benson, but I used to have 2 copies of everything. So you'd be Lou Rawls, you'll never find. You'd be editing live. Okay. I'll be doing. Remember one, because Molly, I met him because he used to do St Kilda Football Club down the road, and
is Molly? Is this a
Molly Meldrum?
Molly Meldrum,
yeah. I've been to his house. He's a.
Was he a DJ?
I know. So did you Countdown Australia #1 music show of all time?
Okay. And that was his show.
Yeah, and he's lovely gay boy, whatever. But
again, one of the dudes that I'm too young to know why he's famous. I know he's famous.
Yeah. Look at Countdown.
Okay.
And so he used to part of the DJ at St Kilda Football Club, and so that night there they had the sports is like a band, and they were it's their new vinyl little 7-inch single. This new song coming out, right? So everybody's there. We're all dancing, and Molly introduces the band, and Charles is going to play the new song by the Sports. And the song went normally 3.5 minutes. 3.5 minutes. It went for 8 minutes. I got the 2 singles, and I'm going echo and phasing it. So if you get the song identical on its top of each other, it phases, and you go in and out, and then you put it 4 beats behind, 8 beats behind, 16 beats behind, and you echo. Then you put it back to the intro at the start, and you phase it in. And there are the guys in the band going, "Is that a song?" Yeah.
So what we now take for granted is pushing this button for a sound effect and like
you have to make
a filter. You had to literally do that with the tools of how the discs.
Yeah. You have to make it, and you kind of learn. Like I used to do from the Mandalizer studio. I used to have a big reel-to-reel machine where you kind of made sounds, and you had to splice it like in the olds, where you get tape, do an angle cut, splice it, add sound. Yeah, okay. That was one way of remixing songs too. So you'd make a song, and then
the little tapes.
Yeah, but a really big tape. It's like a big, like a studio tape. Yeah. I don't know where they go. I really missed it. They've vanished somewhere. But I used to, in excess, I missed out. I had a meeting with them, and I was late. I couldn't get there in time. And I was remixing, because I was doing a lot of work on vinyl, editing and mixing. Molly, in excess was in England at the time, and I've still got the original copies on CD now. They were on tapes, cassette tapes. You know what that is? A little square thing, rectangular?
Yes.
Yeah, cassette tape.
Yeah, I think
it's about the size of that. Yeah. And I got a medley of all in excess, and Molly's manager, I forget her name, she took my compilation to In Excess in England, and nothing happened. But there's a guy who remixed their latest song, and he used my edits.
Oh wow!
So c'est la vie.
Very cool. So you've definitely had your finger in
a lot of fucking pies.
A lot of pies. Yeah. And just going back to like when you were describing how you think and how you interact and you kind of figure things out and play with things yourself, whether it's the cars or whatever. Back in those days, like now, if I wanted to learn how to DJ, even if it was the complicated vinyls and stuff, I'd just go on YouTube or Google.
Mm.
Now that wasn't a thing. How were you learning? Did you have mentors, or were you figuring it out?
I was lucky. I had a guy called Cameron Sterling, who was good mates with my brother, and he was probably the best mixer in Australia, and he taught me the structure of music. And like Cameron, what was the venue? Little Collins Street. No, Madison's. The first big venue, 3-4 years, and like that, they had the diary of all the songs, every song from America. By the way, we only got in Australia 20% of the songs Americans had.
Wow, really?
We just
so the vinyls never made it.
Yeah. So, but if you looked around, you could find them. Anyway, so Cameron taught me the structure. Like 32 beats is everything. Every song you hear out there is 32 beats. And there's different keys, like some intros will be 8 beats, some will be 16, never 24, but 32. So a verse will be 2 lots of 32. Verse 2 lots of 32 maybe. Chorus will be 1 lot of 32, 2 lots of 32. So you can go bang, 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 bang. You can get edit, bang, bang, bang. And you learn, Cameron taught me 32 beats. And I've as mates of mine, I'm still mates today, I've taught the DJ, and I've taught them the same way. I got mates, Brett, how are you? He met his wife through me at Sheiks. And it's 32 beats is, when you listen to music, count it. you'll hear like I can listen to music now. I listen to a song. I've never heard the song before, and it's building up, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. It goes into the next section. It's easy. It's how it is. Bands go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's different.
And if you're creating, because the DJ is responsible for creating the vibe, the mood of the room, right? Creating the fun, creating the love, creating the whatever.
It's called circulation. What you do is you bring them up, bring them down. They go and drink. You just keep them rotating them so they go to the bar and drink.
Oh, really?
So you pump them hard, and then you bring it down a bit. Well, that's what we used to do. So they'd go to the bar and they'd have a bit of a break and something. You'd be pumping it like 140 beats Berlin or whatever, or Queso Rivera 131 beats per minute, and then you'd drop it down to another one bites the dust, which is 112 beats per minute, and then the people would rotate.
Still, there were songs like designed, okay, this is a bit slow, this is a bit more boring. Like people are going to want to, let's go for a drink. And then they're at the drink bar, maybe talking, and then they hear a song. It's like, oh my God, I need to dance. And it's like, that was the plan.
It was part. Nowadays, it's just continuous at about between 125 to about 135 beats per minute. So like everything, when you had your library of songs, you had the actual vinyls, everything was in beats per minute. Like, let's say Billie Jean, 118. Like Respect, 115. You get all these, everything was structured. So you go from one to the next, you build it up. You never went slower. You always went up. And you get to start, then you bang something slow in. Not slow, but something with a nice, one of my favourite things, like in vinyl, I was working in Impressions. I was the main DJ. We had 3 turntables, video, and I'd start the night off, and there was like easy 5,000 people in there, right? So you'd start the night off with, I'd start with Just Be Good to Me, SOS, the SOS band, what do we have? 104 beats per minute. Then I experimented, like I do as a song, Hit That Perfect Beat by, I should know, sorry. Hit That Perfect Beat, boy, boom, okay. Now, the instrumental, naturally, this is on a 45 12-inch. I turned it down to a 33, and I pumped up, Just Be Good to Me, about 4 plus, and Hit That Perfect Beat was about 2 minus on the, okay.
Yeah.
10 plus, slow, speed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so and
getting the machine to speed or slow the song.
So you marry them up.
Yeah.
And so I've got 2,000 people on dance floor dancing a song they've never heard before, but they know it. So it's hit the but it was instrumental on the wrong speed, and like it's the most amazing feeling watching all these people dance to something. They know it, but they don't know it.
They know the beat underlying because you've made
the rhythm maybe.
Yeah.
But they still can't click what it is.
So there's a bit of novelty and familiarity in a perfect balance.
Yeah. Well, okay. But that was. You always used to come up with different things to do to make things interesting. But it was a amazing part of my life.
Yeah.
Not the best part of it.
Did you find yourself more into the art of DJing itself, or more into everything else, like the lifestyle? Which was, did that change? At some parts, maybe at the start, you were more into the DJing, and then by the end, you were more into the life. Like,
just a nice career. It was just a really nice. It was just a. You met. Like, there's nothing like working at a venue and a guy comes up and then can you hold his gun for me, please? Yeah, no worries. Okay. It's sort of.
What? What?
You heard it. There was really nice people. There's alcohol. And I did make some really good friends. And it's it's always different. Every night is different. You play your certain songs different ways, and it's just it was a really nice vibe, and I don't miss it. I did it. It's gone. It's finished. But yeah.
Do you have any specific moments, low or high, that kind of you find coming to your mind more than others? Little flashbacks, little things you laugh at, or things you cry at, or, no, that was funny though.
Yeah. Remember my second wife, I've had 3, I think. She's at my venue. She's raped by 3 guys, and it for 3 months we tried to track them down. I had detectives, everybody in there, and they were there, but she's too scared to tell me because she was scared by it. And that was probably the worst. And we never found them. But there's 3 arseholes out there that raped her in one of my toilets. That was one thing, you know, like, it's funny, like, I was working at the Hilton Hotel one night, and I was DJing there, and I remember saying, God, that girl over there, she's such a dyke. And he goes, that's my girlfriend. Oh, you know, there's times you should just shut up. You know, I had lots of, leaving sheiks, putting records in my Porsche, and the police stopping me saying you can't park there. Beautiful disputes. I had some awesome disputes. I won, don't worry. But yeah, it was every week was different. You'd be doing, derbies. You'd be doing that side. Different parts of Melbourne. Yeah. Went to DJ in Launceston for a couple of years. Got to get away from the girls. So that was an interesting part of my life.
What was that like, going to a significantly smaller town and crowd and whatnot?
I was offered good money to go work there.
Sure.
And so I DJ 3 nights a week, and I designed a new upstairs room as well at the hotel. Had a great time there, and I was bored, so I drove taxis as a part-time hobby. So, I picked up Chopper Reed once.
What?
I picked up Chopper Reed. He used to come and drink at the back bar at the pub anyway. But yeah, it was, yeah.
Do you know who he was?
Yeah, of course I know. Yeah.
Did you chat?
I think so. I can't recall.
Yeah.
He didn't get me to hold the gun for him. No, it's all
exactly.
good.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. So yeah, that's quite I'm sure there's just so much going on. How on earth was it? Because by the sounds of it, the two are mutually exclusive of being married and living that life.
Sorry? Married?
Being married while living that life. How did that work? Like, what was...
Well, now we get into the real story. One of my things I hate is deceit. That's one of my pet hates. I hate deceit. And I've been a bad boy to a certain degree, but overall I'm very loyal, and I hate. My second wife was a bit twisted, a bit psycho. So, there's that's a whole session by itself. Don't say, tell me more. No, I can't. No, she's she dropped 4 kids, didn't want to have them. So that was a sad part of my life. That would have been mid-90s, I think. But yeah, she's, that was the question again? Sorry? Yeah.
So how was it to live that lifestyle surrounding your DJ career while married? Like, what were the challenges? What were the benefits of that? Like,
well, when I was with the second wife, she would walk in there and she was the spunkiest chick out of the whole room. So there was never a challenge there, you know. It was like I had the best. But then again, some girls would come with bigger boobs, I don't know. But no, there was, it was challenging to a certain degree, but wow. Yeah, it was challenging. So I can't really go into too much.
No, you don't have to. It sounds like, I don't know.
It was fun.
Yeah.
No regrets.
Sure. Is it the kind of thing, I mean, I might just be thinking about marriage as such a like conservative thing.
Oh, marriage is beautiful.
Yeah, but it was, because in my head it's like, why would you get married if you were in that sense, right? It doesn't really make sense. But
well, in the first stage, marriage was good. Second one was just a twisted 10 years of my life. And I would love to take it all back and be with somebody else. So marriage and DJing is, you know, like, it was hard. But like, we split up but girls everywhere, so it was all right.
would you say, again, like, you don't need to get into details, it's just for me kind of, I guess, understand a life lived so I can better inform, you know, my life and whoever the hell's still listening to this. It sounds like that first woman you were married to, at least as an individual, is a very good person.
Yes.
And then that broke up perhaps because of DJing stuff, I don't know really.
She worked in the airlines. She was a hostess.
Okay.
So she was, every night she was somewhere and I was working somewhere else. So we drifted apart. It was like, it's not like she was at home waiting to cook dinner for me. She was like, could be overnight in Darwin. She could be overnight in Perth. All different hours. I was all different hours. We never saw each other.
Yeah.
That was our first marriage. But she's a beautiful woman.
Yeah. So that kind of was just circumstance. Would you say that second woman was maybe all sorts of crazy stuff because that was kind of reflective of the life you were living? Like, okay, I can't marry someone again who's living a life that's not like mine because it didn't work, right? Even though you might love each other, the lives were too different.
I don't think. It just, you meet a person, you fall in love.
Yeah.
You kind of like in any relationship, you meet someone, you fall in love, and it doesn't work out. It doesn't matter, you know, whether you're Madonna or wherever. It just doesn't work. It's sort of. She had some really nice, normal friends too. So
The first or the second?
second,
Second, right, okay.
and she was bad to me. I paid her back 10 times over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I was, yeah.
This is just a question I have on my mind because I've heard, obviously we all know like compatibility with an individual, but then there's also people who like get realistic. You need compatibility with lifestyles as well. And it's interesting to see them in a person. Okay, which worked, which didn't, what balance of the two worked. Like, you know what I mean? That's the only reason.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know, like I said, you know, like. No, I don't think that there's a compatibility. I think it's. I met Gail, my first wife. She lived upstairs at my units. Like Belinda, I met in one of my venues. Compatibility. I married her. I got married. My dad at the wedding called me Clive, my brother, which is normal. I was always called the wrong name.
Wow.
So, I don't. I think diversity in my life was there, but it's just like anybody else. You meet someone down the shops, you meet someone out, Some people live absolutely null and void, boring lives, and they're very happy.
Cool. And what happened towards the end of this DJing journey? Were you pushed out of the industry because it changed so much? Were you sick of
I
it?
got my own. I started. The family had the kite business, and so my brother and myself, we'd both DJ and work the family business, help the business out, whatever. So I opened up a shop, a kite shop. There was Hart's Kites, it's a family business, and I opened up a shop. I got back from Tassie DJing. I opened up a kite shop next to another kite shop, our opposition in Elwood. So there was Highly Strung, and there was me.
That was the name of the other.
Highly Strung. Took me 3 years to turn off. 3 years to bankrupt them.
Wow.
Right? So
And that was the plan going in.
No, who opens up a kite shop next to another kite shop? Yeah. So we opened it up and did well. It was hard. It was really hard in winter time. Summertime, great. I had rollerblades, skateboards, push bikes, kites.
And what year is this?
Would have been 80, 90, I know, 3, 4.
So this is kind of like 2/3 of the way through your DJing stint, like.
Midway afterwards.
So kites by day, DJ by night.
No, yeah, later. Sorry, it's getting to the end.
Okay.
Getting to the end. And I might have a bit of a break in DJing for years. And it's all vague after Scotch.
Sure.
Then we got, I got a mate, and we got, it was Wings for Kites, Cafe Base. Then I got the shop next door, Highly Strung, the one which I bankrupted. I took that one over, opened it up, and then we got a liquor license, and that became Elwood Lounge, which burnt down about 9 months ago. And that's where we DJ'd, pool tables. It was a good part of my life. And that's where I met Caroline's mother, Emily, lovely lady. And and yeah.
Nice.
Caroline can't watch this.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, cool. Right, so let's go back to, because I feel like that's, at least for me, giving me so much more content. Going back to like the early stuff, you mentioned these like Latvian ancestors, and then your dad grew up in India or something.
Yeah.
What's the stories back there?
My father's was an engineer, like family of engineers. Born in Calcutta, third generation. Worked for a company called Dom & Long.
So the full British.
They built the company built Sydney Harbour Bridge, but they were working in India. Mum, Latvia, got out of Germany at the end of the war, 15, 16. Went to England, married Dad in England, then they came out to Australia.
Wow.
So...
generation in Calcutta, that's wild.
Oh no, the British have been there for a long time.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Well, they're called Anglo. My dad's Anglo-Indian. Like, my dad is so British. When he spoke, it was clarity and everything. And when he'd speak to some Indians, he started speaking Hindustani. It was like really weird. Like, what the hell was happening? You know?
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, he was. Yeah.
Okay, so my idea, and this again, I'm just going to throw this out there, and please tell me where it's right and where it's wrong. Like, especially that. I mean, Latvian culture, from the little I know of it, is like, it was Soviet for better part of a century, like pretty cold and a bit harsh.
I disagree.
Okay.
I think the Soviet part of it came into it.
Yeah.
But there is the Latvians, which is their country, like it's a Baltic state, and I think Russia's threw a whole lot of Russians in there to try and take it over. I don't know if it's worked. My family, my grandfather used to have property in Latvia. After the war, the Russians took over everything. So it's sort of, like
but your mum and your ancestors left when the Russians came in, or were they around?
had to. Russians were going to kill them all.
Yeah, so the Russians never kind of influenced them specifically.
No. People have this preconceived or fake news that Germany's all bad and Russians are good. Russians were the animals. My mum's told me stories. Like one story, like she was 15, 16, and she had to call her older sister in because the Germans had just pushed the Russians out. There was like a prison, like a police station, and she goes, there's all these women lined up, hanging up like that, with either eyes burnt out, tits cut off, still alive, and she had to get her sister to come check. Look at this. The Russians did this. Not the Germans. Germans were, okay, we can get into the philosophical of all that, but, like Germans helped my mum get out of Germany, my family. There's one story where my grandmother was a chef. Oh, she cooked great food. And so she had, when they were leaving Germany, she was looked after. And there was a boat they were leaving to get onto. And because my mum was under 21, she couldn't get on the boat. So my grandparents went onto the boat, and my mum was put into a meat container, get lifted onto the boat. Okay, and the first meat container went up, and it broke and went into the icy water. And the captain, the German captain, if that doesn't happen again, I will shoot you all. So mum was in the second one. And so it's lifted up and got onto the boat, and that's how they got out. So Germans, they did bad things. The Japanese did worse. The Russians did just as bad. War is terrible. But mum escaped due to being looked after by the Germans. So life's interesting.
Okay. I think that's so good, like story wise.
I've got a carpet inside under the table, and that carpet. What do you call it? It's like a rug made by my grandmother. The bombs they got a cart, like a donkey pulling a cart, and all the kids are under that carpet under the back, and the bombs going boom, 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 boom next to it. Like
that very rug.
That rug there, which was travelling through Germany.
Wow. Do you think about that stuff much? Like, do you feel that? No, never. Because it's pretty detached from the kind of life in Southeast.
My grandmother was the most beautiful person. My grandfather, very creative. He was when he came to Australia, he used to. I used to fly him up to Sydney to tune all the organs in the churches. He was like, that's his job. Like I called him a woodpecker. Like he built my parents' house in Tasmania, and all the joinery inside the cupboards was as good as the outside. Like you've seen the woodwork, chess set. My grandfather's amazing. Grandmother's just stunning. They're all like, what was I say? Yeah, my grandfather used to. We had a mill, lost to the Russians, because the Russians said, like Mum said, like they had the mills there, and the Russians came back through, and they said to my grandfather, if you don't burn this when we come back, we're going to shoot you all, kill you. So they were coming back, so they had to leave Russia, leave their home. Yeah, and I've got, it's funny, like talking about family, I've got my Merc out the front there, and I've got Mum and Dad's ashes in the boot, and I just still don't know where to get rid of them. They've been there for about a year.
On a boat or something.
Sorry? I've got, there's a hillside in Elwood, like a baby lighthouse.
Is that the one on the bay with the little structure?
Yeah, it's we used to have the kite shop just up there.
Okay.
It's the bottom of Gleneley Road. yeah, I wanted to, because we did was an Australian Story a few times. We used to get an Australian Story.
Oh yeah.
What was that?
The
You don't
show.
know. Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah. No, I've seen
we
it.
used
It's
to
like
always
60 minutes kind of, but it's
we used to always get on. Like David Rain used to come to my shop,
really.
kite shop, and we do a show on the kites. Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny the ways in which you've kind of touched that celebrity stuff has been very
Yeah. I floated in and out.
Yeah.
Forget the acting.
acting.
Oh.
You as an actor? Okay, go on.
I was in. I was getting taught by John Gouchy, which is in South. No, was it in near Carlton actually? I was in a few commercials. I used to be in Carson's Law. I had a bit part. I was in a restaurant. I did. I was in a movie called Son of Alvin Purple, which was I was one of the purple people, nude. They always had me in the nude stuff. I don't know why. I was in about 3 other movies. There was one which is a classic, was the bombing of. I was on Channel 7 News. Channel 7, yeah, Channel 7. It's the bombing of Darwin. There was they did the recreation. Famous producer did it in Port Melbourne, and they had Zeros come in and drop bombs, and it was like all this. You had to run with a gun and jump into a trench.
Yes.
And I'm the only guy with a towel. I just got a shower. I got a gun, and I was supposed to jump into the trench, drop the towel, and start boom, boom, boom. And that was it on the Channel 7 News? Troops caught with their pants down. Yeah, so I always used to do.
So all the other actors were able to be in their soldier uniform, and you had to pretend like you were.
I've just got to have a shower. I used to do. I would have been reasonably famous, but there's a guy called John Barningham who was a director at he ran all Crawfords, and when I used to work in Carson's Law, he used to make me stand in a position for 20 minutes, so I could check my bum and my legs out. Like I'd be standing with my boots and I'd be waiting, and he used to ring me up all the time. He knew I was married. He wanted to take me out for dinner. I said, no. And then I never got any more acting work. And he died a year later from AIDS.
Ah.
So good choice, Charles.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
And I was with Gail then, my first one.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so you'd go to acting, all these major stars, you'd do lines with them, you'd be there, and I would have been 35, 38, and they'd okay, let's do the lines, and they'd come out with a bottle of wine, and then they'd do the massage and show, Charles, relax, have some more wine. Yeah, okay, let's do the lines. Thank you very much.
Yeah. That can be interpreted in 2 ways as well.
No, only one way, mate. No one's going to jab me. So.
Oh, that's so good. All right. Now, the question I have is what you were saying of kind of going to these boarding schools and having... I don't know if your father was strict or not or whatever, but anyone I've ever heard of British student in India is pretty stern, empirical.
No.
No.
He was fair. I remember once he hit me because I did something stupid, but I saw stars. But other than that, he was. I remember once when I was 16, 15, me and the boys had been naughty, and we're doing some sort of burglary on a big shopping centre, and he's told me this is Friday night. He said there's something going on. He said the police are here today. They're coming back Monday morning. I want to know what's going on. Nothing, Dad, nothing. I'm all good, And all Saturday, come on. If you don't tell us what you did, I don't care how many police in front of me, I'm going to get you. I'll beat the shit out of you. I don't care. Oh, good. No, nothing like that. Sunday afternoon, I gave in. And, Dad, we did this, that, and the other. He goes, okay. He made me suffer all till Sunday late night. He goes, there's no cops. So he just taught me a lesson. And what we're doing was just not like the kids today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you like just a bit of taking something off the shelf or something.
No, climbing through shopping centre through the roof, getting chocolates and stuff and smokes, and the next day giving me everybody in school.
Like in the middle of the night or something.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's better than like. I feel like I heard a story of some teenagers holding up grannies with machetes or something.
Oh, they're doing. I know.
What's going on?
This was all like remember we left school and all these Greek guys were doing the telecom thing with a little hut there, and we got a carton of cigarettes and just jumped on top and smashed them in front of them. Just stupid. Like, oh yeah, like all the show homes in the area had no door handles or window winders. Just our house had the best technology.
Right. That's funny, actually. So, like, and this is a bit more of a, philosophical question, but what, if you can take your mind back to growing up and those kind of young times, what male mentors would you say you had? Was it all your dad? Was it the older brother? Was it other people around? Potentially easier. What was your ideal of masculinity? What kind
Don't know. Just maybe late teens. There was a guy called Paul Heron. He was part of the show scene, with the shows where you do, travel around Australia doing the shows. He used to be a good arbitrator, a good talker. He's still around, still doing well up in Queensland. But no, just a loner. Trying to think. You just get on with your life.
Because I mean, the only the reason I ask is I kind of, and I might be weird for doing so, but I think I have a not necessarily clear, but I have a strong idea of the kind of guy I want to be and become, and okay, I don't want to. You might see a dude who has success in one realm. It's like I actually don't want that kind of success. I want this. It might be characters in a movie even, but it's like, what kind of guy do I want to be? Is that ever a conscious thing? Because it's subconsciously running either way, right? But
for you, I query that, because you come from a comfortable family.
Sure.
And I can see I've got a lot of mates. All my good mates come from comfortable families, and it's a different attitude. From people who strive or have to get on with life without. I've never had basically anything given to me. So I know very well once or twice someone's paid it forward to me, and I always try to pay forward to other people. I know, but back to question about me. What was it again? Sorry.
Yeah, so maybe what you're saying is if you have some, let's call it privilege, you kind of have room to breathe and think about, okay, I'm doing okay, I'm surviving, I've got support and whatnot, so I can think about, okay, which direction do I want to go? What kind of guy do I want to become? What kind of life do I want to live?
Never had this. You just go for it.
Yeah.
Like we were in the early mid-70s, we were entrepreneurs. Like we were doing stuff. We were. I was mining. I was 19, 20, 20. I had a brand new Ford. Nobody in our area had a brand new Ford.
Was this from the DJing stuff?
No, it was before that. It was like we were travelling. You're doing a show in. Our family business was manufacturing, selling kites. We used to sell kites to Toy World, Myers, but we also travelled to the shows. So you'd go to the show. You'd be turning over in the 6, 7, 8 grand a day selling shit kites and blow up toys and invisible dogs.
Like carnival shows, kind of.
Melbourne show, Sydney show.
Yeah, cool.
But you do a show run. So you go, there's all the royal shows, but there's every weekend, all through Queensland, there's Charters Tower, Air, every town has a show.
Goes up the coast.
Goes up the coast. Goes through New South Wales. Goes through South Australia.
Wow.
So you have all the showies, and we used to be part of the showies. Like we'd have a big caravan, we'd go up and travel, and we'd making kites. I'd finish school at 3 o'clock, and I'd come and repair kites for 2-3 hours. Stick bamboo kites, pack them, use the machine to wind string, to wind the strings, and you pack them up. Yeah. So it was like, as kids, we kind of worked, but all kids worked. All kids did things. Like nowadays, it's different.
We hear
it's not wrong. It's different.
Yeah, I've heard things like the term carnies, like carnival people, and in a separate thing, probably a bit more of a productive entrepreneurial business version. But it's like this, almost like gypsy traveling, family groups of people.
Yeah.
What was that world like?
Well, I think Mum tried to homeschool us for a year, gave up. That's when we went to Geelong Grammar because she gave up. It was too hard. But it was like I remember when I was 17, I got my licence in Tassie, got my first, it was a V8 VE Valiant wagon. I could have got an XR Falcon wagon, but I put into the VE, Chrysler. And I went straight up to do the Moree. And like you're 17, you've got a load of product in the back, and you're kind of driving up, pulling into a town, and like our family my dad had a really good name because those showies don't let anybody else on the showground. So you got to be a showy or not. You become a member and so I could roll up, no worries. Where do you want to go, Mr. Hart? Okay, there. And like one of the funniest things, not funny, but you have your wagon, you'd open up, you get there for the day, you'd put 3 or 4 kites up in the air, be flying me. You want to fly it? And then I started selling, because we only sold kites, I think the first thing, everybody's got these flickers. You know what a flicker is? No. It's sort of a thing on a stick, and it's like paper wrap tight, and you flick it, and it goes out about 1 metre, 2 metres. Oh, okay. It's like a little shitty, crappy crap. And so I went to the guy, can I have some of those? And I said, yeah, okay. So I sold about $600. I remember that day because who's the pedophile comedian? He had one of his paintings up for auction. I bid on it. He's Australian, but he just died a few years ago.
Yeah, I think I know that one.
Yeah. I was going to bid on a painting. I did, but it went for too much. I'm Jake the Peg with Extra Leg. What's his song? What's his name? I'm Jake. So, flickers. And I phoned Dad that night. Dad, I sold $600 worth of flickers. He said, don't you do that. We only sell kites. And the next week, we're selling flickers. So we used to have every Royal show. We'd have a big stand, like very expensive stands, and there'd be all kites everywhere. And we used to do invisible dogs, where you'd have you get a bit of wire, and you put it coated with ski rope. You know ski rope? They're like a meshy rope. Okay. So you kind of a bit of wire, and then you do collar. Thank you very much. And on there, and so you'd sell those invisible dogs.
Nice.
And so, mate, the amount of thousands of those.
And the profit margin on something like that, because I mean, like nowadays, let's put it, you could easily sell that thing for $10. The wire and the string must be worth 10 cents. I mean, like.
Well, we used to get loads and loads of spring wire made for us. There was opportunity, like we used to do. Elvis. Kiss. So you'd have your stand kites, and then you'd be getting TV Week. You get the TV magazine, and you go and you get a little cutter thing where you do, and you cut all the Elvis photos, all these little round photos, and you have a dual machine press and sell these badges for $2 or $3 with Elvis and like we used to go photographer. We used to get this camera place. We get 1,000 of Elvis, thousands of Kiss, and we began flat out stamping, selling, doing the kites, but selling all this other stuff at the same time. Oh. And it was good profit.
Yeah, okay, man. I'm just also that image of you 17 driving a brand new car that is a good car,
I was sick of it, but
making
yeah.
but making money, traveling. Like you must have been a different breed to the other 17-year-olds or 19-year-olds or whatever you're coming across.
Just like you just had to do it. Like I remember once I was 17. I was chatting up this chick in I think it was Dalby. Dalby. I found a girl, and we were going to go parking that night, and it was. So I picked her up. She was a student nurse, and
So she would have been a few years older than you.
no, she was about maybe 1 year, whatever difference. But so I picked her up, and it was a dark night. It's raining. I'm 17, driving this V8 wagon. I got some port. I got some beer in the car, and we're going down this skinny road to a park. And she said, "There's a spot out there, okay?" And there's this truck coming the other way, and I've moved slightly off the road, let the truck go by, and the truck's just gone by, and the car started to spin round backwards.
Oh,
And as soon as I got to backwards, I put the foot on brake,
sure.
right, and it went into the gutter, little ditch on the other side. Not bad, no damage. And I've got the beer and the wine. I've thrown it in the bushes. It's 3 a.m. by this time. So then I go,
Is the car not working?
no, we don't know, it's black, dark. So we walk back to the local farm. The guy's driven us back to town. And next morning I came with a tow truck to get the car. And there's the Valiant in the ditch. Not bad, but where my tyre marks were on the left-hand side, there was the bitumen of the road, the dirt, and there was a 10-metre drop on that side. And I was that far from going into it.
Oh, so where you'd originally swerved
I
off.
swerved a little bit to go over the left, and then and just to avoid the truck, and then then the car started to spin around, and then in my mind, as soon as I gone backwards,
Yeah.
put the foot on brake.
Yeah.
Not like up the
on
side,
your side.
yeah. And just one of the many times I've survived.
Wow. Yeah, that must be like.
And that was so you get up, cars don't go, no damage to the car, kept on going. I think in Moree, a horse ran in front of me and smashed the bonnet. I got that fixed up. But you just, every weekend it was like, when we do shows, you go to, okay, we do Brisbane show. You say, okay, let's pack up, leave 3 a.m. You'd be there next evening. It's a normal
From
drive.
here.
From Melbourne, yeah, it's just about a 18, 20-hour drive. It was like, it's just normal.
Was it exclusively up the East Coast? Did you ever go west or the outback?
I took my dad to Perth. We did the Perth show once. I went across the Nullarbor when it was all dirt, 700 k's of dirt, right? And we pulled into, what is that? That it's a petrol station. There's right where the white beaches are. I forget. So it was a petrol station. So I'm 17, 18. My dad's with me. Don't know how. Pulled in, and these 2 chicks walked out, and these hot pants, like right above them. It was like in the middle of nowhere. It was on the Noble Plain, petrol station there. And like, remember Dad go, it's like a mirage. Like the 2 chicks come and service the car. Come out to put the petrol in and do all the stuff. And like it was.
It's been good business for that little petrol station.
Oh well, everybody stop here.
Yeah.
But no, I did the Perth show with Dad there a couple of times. Went to Darwin, done the Darwin show a few times. Had some good times with Gail, my first wife. She came up a few times because she flew up there. And no.
Is there anything else? Because even just before, like that distinction in your mind, which I think is probably true, between like the kind of people who have grown up and been secure and had things handed to them and whatnot, and even versus the current generation, right? The kids don't work necessarily. Are there experiences or more like perspectives about the world and the people in it that you learnt or saw from that life of being on the road and selling kites and kind of constantly changing and meeting new people and selling new things and blah, blah, blah. The things that you think that taught you that other people haven't been taught, and it's very hard to learn outside of that kind of context.
I don't know. It's hard to
It's a very
because when I was because my brother's 3 years older, so I went to boarding school. I was 6, 7. He was 9, 10, whatever. So I was younger, and I couldn't handle a lot of it. He was a bit older. He handled it differently. But we always felt we were different when we were younger. We were entrepreneurial, where we could just do anything, make anything.
Compared to the kids in Melbourne.
Well,
or Tasmania.
no, we broke boundaries. We did things, even if we failed, we did things. Like in the mid-70s, pre-80s, you know how much if you had an overdraft at the bank, you know what the percentage was?
What do
you think it was?
Well, what's the question?
Okay. If you got a business,
yeah,
and you got an overdraft.
What's that for? Oh, you've taken to got credit.
You're running. You're entrepreneurial. You're buying things. You're doing things. You're making things. You might need 20, 30 grand overdraft the bank to cover you through to generate money, whatever. You got a Brisbane show coming up in 2 weeks' time. You're going to make 40 grand there, but you need some money and then you go to the bank and get an overdraft.
Okay, yeah.
You know what the percentage was?
Of what you had to pay for it?
Yeah, what is percentage?
Oh, there was one stage in the oil crisis it was like 16% or something.
Okay, 25%. So you're trying to run a business, I remember once I walked into the bank and...
That's essentially an interest rate,
just they charge... You couldn't do it nowadays, you get shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's sort of the and there's people that come into the country now, I'm getting a couple of issues. People come into the country now and they can get easy finance, they can get this done. In the 80s, 70s, 80s, we're the people who built the country up. We're the people who opened up opportunities, and we failed, but we kept on going. Opened up venues, made money, lost money. Nowadays, you can come in the country, you can buy a new car, you basically can get a house pretty quick, where those days you couldn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's you must have pride in that though, even if
I've some of the things we've done. We used to build the best billy carts when I was 14, 15 in Burwood. Just motorised push bikes, going to school, driving my friends to school when I was 15.
Yeah. Motorised push bikes back then?
Yeah, put a Victor motor into a push bike.
Nice.
And pulled over by the cops. You better put some headlights on that thing.
Have you seen, because I feel like you've probably been on the forefront of this entrepreneurial stuff in Australia in all sorts of realms, right? Have you noticed, because now it definitely feels like Australia's overregulated, and I would consider myself an entrepreneur as well, and I wouldn't want to try businesses and hustles and stuff in Australia. It seems too hard. I'd rather go to overseas where it's kind of the government gets out of your way. Have you noticed that change, or has that always been the case? All those rules.
What are you talking about? Political correctness in some ways?
But rules and permits and I started freediving school in Guatemala and didn't have to tell anyone about it, right? You kind of just do it, and as long as people are happy and blah, 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 it all works. Where here, it's like how many licenses and permits.
Well, even today I was watching something where the Casey Council, I don't know if we're in Casey, not too sure, they're coming into people's backyards and taking unregistered cars, just taking them. Just like, it doesn't matter, even if it's in your garage, they're coming and taking cars, like, because they can. The police can't do it, but council can.
Yeah.
It's like it's sort of. It's just I sort of today like it's councils are they're the thing which is a twist that they worry about. My in your life you learn different things. The thing which I have this gripe, and this is about and it's our society. It's one-sided. Is physical abuse, men, how they beat up women. Mm-hmm. And it's horrible. But the thing is, we're stronger and it's in our nature and men should control it better. But no one's talking about the psychological bullying that women do. It's sort of, okay, we're stronger, we can do bad things, more physical. Females, more psychological, manipulative, and no one talks about it. No one balances out our society in that one. For me, it really annoys me because, like, okay, we all have to get on. We all have to, but some of the stories what guys do is horrendous. But no one's saying, hey, excuse me, madam or lady, you're out of line there, and that's when no one's talking about.
You can see the physical violence.
You can't see psychological, and it's sort of it's gone by the wayside.
I guess one counter argument, to that, which I feel is probably relevant, is that the physical violence to the victim, to the girl, she can't do anything to avoid it. Right? You're kind of imposing that violent act upon them. Psychological, not in all cases, granted, but in a lot of cases I feel like it's the devil on the shoulder. It's the man, if they're the victim, could just stop listening or could just walk away. You said it different? Is that relevant?
No. It's sort of it's sort of. What I'm trying to emphasise is male, female, and the guys get hammered because it's blatant. You can see it. The psychological bullying, you can't see it, and no one's going. Excuse me, girls, because sit down. We'll look at this and let's work through it. Tell you a story. Second wife. Scissors. It's amazing how the scissors run down your spine. She can sit there and run it down your spine, and you're going to sit there and go. Scissors. Okay. So this is married, separated, on and off relationship. Loved the girl, but it wasn't going to work out. So she's come to my house at 6 o'clock at night. I guess I was living there, Kingsley Street. And she wanted to come upstairs. I said, no, you can't. 2 hours out the front saying, you got to leave. You got to leave. So after the third hour, I called the police. Okay, she went away. She lived in Doncaster. This is how fucked our society is. So she's come back at 11 o'clock. Pissed off a tree. Driven all the way from Doncaster. Good looking chick. The police drove her back to Doncaster. Right? If the shoe was on the other foot, I would have been put in the divvy van, 3 in the morning. My whole front door was going to get booted in. I rang the police because they had enough of me by then. They said, get out and go stay somewhere else.
To you?
To me. So I had to get out, climb the balcony, and somehow get to my shop. I was down the road, whatever, and I was out of there. And I spoke to her in the morning about 11 o'clock. I said, I don't love you. Please, that's it, go away. And it's how if that was me doing what she did, I'd be locked up for the night, whatever. And she was spastic. They drove her back to Doncaster. So that was one of my second wife. She was a beautiful lady. Nice. And she miscarried that night. Didn't know. She had twins to me.
Oh.
So she was trying, I don't know, maybe trying to somehow find out if I was still interested. Whether it would have changed my life, I don't know. Probably would have. But she was a German girl, so I did, yeah. Okay, what else you want to know?
I want to know about being a parent. You've had you've got 3?
Yeah, actually, older one from Gail. She's turned into a bit of a hippie, but she's still a beautiful daughter. I've got 2 grandkids, Lua and Leo. With Emily, I've got Caroline, I think, sorry, sweetie, and Lenny. Caroline's 24, Lenny's 13, and the beautiful kids. Caroline's very motivated, extremely healthy. She just did her ACL. She's better now. She's works hard. She tries to keep fit. And Lenny's going to be a genius one day. But yeah, it's like I'm lazy at home, but when Lenny's here, I make him breakfast, make him juices, make him this. I bend over backwards for him. And for Caroline too.
What changed when you first had the one who's now a hippie? What was her name?
Ashley.
Ashley.
What
changed in your life? Because I actually was on the way here. I was speaking to a mate through voice messages. He lives over in the Cayman Islands. He'll be on the podcast one day, and he's with his partner. They just got engaged. She's pregnant. Awesome story. Awesome people. But he was saying how he obviously there's pressure of the responsibility of what's coming up in that chapter of life, but he didn't realize until he had this experience that he was having of whoa, I am really anxious and nervous about this, and I really have to step up my game to meet this challenge of whatnot, this responsibility. Do you remember things like that going on?
Straightforward, easy.
No.
Yeah. You just I remember when Ashley's born, she pissed like a fountain in hospital. It went all over me. And no, it was natural, all good. You got kids, you look after them, and there's never a moment where it's sort of too hard or what do I do here? Or it's you always have little incidents, but no, I can't see having kids is precious. It's beautiful. It's a momentous part of your life. Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, maybe it's more so these days, if everyone's bloody anxious, and also I think things are less flowy. Back in the day, it feels like everything was just going and happening. This is the way it is, and this is what we're doing. Now it's everyone is thinking about things, and me included, and talking about things, and how do we feel, and what's going on. And I think there's a huge pressure most people I know put on themselves of having kids of I need to be the perfect version of me so I don't fuck up the kid and can show them examples of whatnot.
I can't even see that as a problem, as an issue. The only problem nowadays is the fucking shitty internet on the phone, watching crap which is nonsensical, which will do nothing for your life whatsoever. But somehow we're getting addicted to it. Yeah. It's like put it down and have a conversation.
It's hard that way. I mean, you were saying the other day.
This therapy is good. I might have to give you some money.
No, I do like it. I mean, even though it's sometimes hard to structure a conversation and make it, good to watch. I have no idea how this will be listenable. But, for you and me, or at least for me.
No, thanks much. Yeah.
I think it's always worthwhile, right? It's always.
It's interesting. I'm over 70. and it's real life. Like a good mate died on Monday, and like it's sort of just 53-year-old bang dropped dead, and you're going to wonder what life's like. We should cherish certain things. We got deaths. Everybody looks at it in different ways. Like some people, it's all about them, not the dead person. It's more about the emotion for them. It's something which, with today, we spend too much time on the internet. We spend too much time, just probably we were lucky where we did nothing, just relax, chill out, listen to music. We'll start listening to vinyl again. But no, it's like you poor buggers nowadays. But then again, it's just a variant of where we were.
I feel like it's the way I try to see it is it's a tool in a sense. It can be wielded, and it's like the most powerful tool maybe we've ever had. So it can be wielded for your benefit, or it can be like this crazy responsibility and or not responsibility, like a liability is a better word, that kind of weighs you down and weighs your life down. Like if you're, as you say, trapped into it and kind of just all your good brain chemicals, your dopamine and all your attention's going to this bullshit, you're screwed. But if you can balance it and you are able to sit on the couch and chill out with your mates and your people you love and care about, and then use it to I don't know.
It should be some of the rubbish out there, and you're waiting for come on, give me an end to it, and it just stops, and you go like, I wasted 15 seconds on what it's like, come on.
I have another question actually.
Oh, good.
How I've always seen you interact with Dad, for instance, but even the other day, I came here because, I'd mentioned to Dad that I intended to service my own car because I wanted to figure that out, and I don't know how it got to you. You must have been.
Well, he's been a good. He's given me cars and stuff. Yeah. He's been all right. I owe him,
Oh,
yeah.
So he was, Charles said he come over, he can show you. He won't do it for you, but he'll show you he has the tools, and you ended up basically doing it for him.
Yeah.
But I was like more keen to just. The money's one thing. Like I didn't really want to pay $500 for an oil and.
They stitch you up,
right? Because I've always heard this: the mechanics stitch you up.
Oh, that's. Hey.
I'm playing with her in the ad breaks.
That's right.
I just wanted to
Is it going there?
Yeah.
You let it, yeah.
I'll check it. I just wanted to. I feel like a dickhead not knowing how cars work if I'm driving one every day. So I'm grateful for that opportunity.
It's all straightforward.
Yeah.
It's all logical.
But for someone who, and I think again, a lot of kids in my age and whatnot, as I say, including myself, it might be logical, but we might not have that logic, used it all the time, like you did.
Well, you're not
I don't think
taught like when we were younger, we had to know. We all had a shitty car in the back, which we take out and thrash around the backyards. We learnt everything about the mechanics. Nowadays, Caroline's good. She's starting to learn, except when the ball got caught there and she didn't know how to drive stick, and she nearly drove my good car into the fence. Just try to start it. It's in gear and going forward. But she knows about the oil. It's all basic. Nowadays, the cars are so good. You don't have to worry about spark plugs, points. There's no such things. So it's all logical. But then again, I got a good mate of mine, Mario, his daughter, Helen, she's about 39, just separated, poor thing.
Mario's the Croatian.
Croatian guy, yeah. And his daughter, he's got a daughter who's politely selfish. But the other day, she broke down. She's always breaking down. I'm always having to fix the car. And it's always me.
Well, I saw that in live action the other day. Some bloke just calls you and, hang on, get in the car.
Yes, that's it. So, but he's sort of...
It's like RSCB.
That's right. Helen, like, she had a radiator blew, and there's always a reason why there's two hoses, one coming into the radiator, one coming out. There's always a reason. And it blew, and I repaired it for her. I said, go to Repco, give them your rego number, and they will give you the right parts. The message came back, where do I find the rego number? And she takes on the chin.
It's in the number plate.
Yeah, she takes, I said, sweetie, how can you be like that? And she goes, well, I'm the only person that blocked the Westgate Bridge because I forgot to take my handbrake off, and my car was blocking up the top, smoking on top of Westgate Bridge. And I go, okay, rightio. But Mario has always tried to teach Helen about the cars, and one of the cars she drives is diesel, and you've got to wait 5 seconds before you actually kick it to start it. Different things about the car, and she's better now. But it's through practice, through fixing things.
For sure.
You'll never learn it. Your dad will never be able to teach you that stuff because he's got no idea.
Well, this is talking shit about dad now, but growing up, he was also away a bit, but that's why I asked the male mentor question as well, because I've kind of had to find other ones. And even I remember having a moment when I was however old, and having a YouTube video learning how to shave. It's like, isn't this shit that dad's supposed to fucking do?
No.
It's but what I mean is also my generation has, because we know there's a million YouTube videos of how to change oil. Why would I know how to change oil? I know that there's going to be a video when it happens that how to change a tire. So I haven't learnt how to change a tire. Right?
The worst thing about your car was the water.
Yeah.
The oil was perfect.
Oh,
you get another 10,000 k. You had fuck all water in your reserve.
Yeah.
This boy here, when he was, how old was Caroline? The red Audi?
Oh, that was when I was very young. Yeah.
Yeah, he went next door. Daughter went next door. She must have been 8, 9. Caroline, yeah, and they were playing, and they're on the roof of the Audi, which is who cares? I think he pushed my daughter, and the air was up, and got Caroline in the girly bits.
Oh shit! I made
it. And it was bleeding. She wasn't ready for that time of the month yet. But anyway, and it was like, oh, Tim's a bad boy.
Oh, that's right.
She got Ariel in the wrong spot.
Shit, there's a few stories like that from my childhood.
And your grandmother was a nice lady too.
Yeah.
Bit weird, bit crazy, yeah.
Oh, grandma, east, out the back, yeah.
And putting that tank in for your dad, the water tank.
Under the chest.
Your dad has how his brain thinks. It's sort of, it's structural ways. He's got to see everything to make it work.
So you have to see just the next step in the present moment.
I worked out how to roll the tank all the way up the driveway. I said, we get some pipe, it's 100 ml pipe, down pipe. I said, we get about 4 of them and put it and roll it. Oh, that's how we did it.
And then just...
We rolled it like the Romans did,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And he dug. I remember looking over the fence, your dad's digging the hole, and all you see is head through the, the walkway. There's just the head sticking up his...
Digging.
And then the chest set there, and the possums. The one.
Yeah,
I was staying at. I was told there's possum will smell. There's possum dive, so I always had the key to go next door, and I go in there and I could smell the possum, and it was in the range hood, and it was definitely dead. So I had to put some plastic gaffer tape, plastic whole range hood area oven, and I've taken the range hood down, and you have to have air, but filters from cigarette in your nose because you can't smell it. And this possum went splat, like it was just splat, and I just covered it all up, put it in the bin, and I said to Darren, you want a new range hood? He goes, yes.
So it's like liquefied.
Liquefied so bad. I think you're away somewhere. That's when I had a blew with, I think, Emily. We were talking, and I slept outside on the footpath for a few hours, and then it was Easter time. You're away. I said, oh, Darren's house is next door. So I got the key. I was relaxing. They're looking for me 2-3 days. And I've got wine. I've got the fight, but whatever, relaxing at your house.
So they probably think you're in another bloody state.
So, yeah, it's just, for me, when it's confrontation, I walk away. I just kind of, it's sort of, and yeah.
Wow, that's funny. Oh dear. Okay, my question. We've gone through a few things which I've enjoyed, but whether it's helping me out the other day, or whether it's you and Jad and stuff, or whether it's like the friend's daughter, or whether it's the guy like the other day being bloody RACV for him and giving him a spare battery. This idea of, it's in Australian culture, of mateship. Like, how strongly do you stand by that and hold that close to you?
Pass it forward. I think it's more pass it forward. I think it's. I don't believe in karma. I think it's bullshit. It's absolute crap. You don't get karma, but just as long as you can pass it forward. I dropped my son off to Laverton, and I come past intersection in St Kilda. There's always a guy there washing the windows of the cars, and I always give him $5. Like I was with my mate Steve. He goes, "What are you there for?" I said, "Mate, he's doing a TARF. He had a bruised face. He had a puppy dog. He looks after. He's living off the streets. I just give him $5. I don't do beggars, but anybody I help. Like there's a classic. 5 years ago, 7 in the morning. I know 8 in the morning. I could hear this car come up the road, and it went. You could hear flop, 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 flat tyre all the way. Guy pulls up the front.
Just here?
Yeah, at the front. Okay. I looked over. Okay. And then
No.
No. So I've got my
Picked the right house to go.
Yeah, I got my trolley jack. I've gone out there with the wheel brace. I've gone out there. He's not around. I jack the car up, undo the wheel. His boot's up, so he's probably gone home to get a jack. And I put the wheel on, and when he's come back, it's all done. I was like, and I didn't have a phone to take photos of. Like it should have been like you just help like certain people. You help certain people. The biggest thing I've learnt with friendship relationships is you accept a person for who they are. You don't try and change them. They might not be the best friend, but you accept them for their negativity, positivity, whatever, who they are. There's certain mates, won't say who, I accept them for who they are, and they're mates still. And like at times I've not spoken for months.
So you have to keep them, if they're only a mate half the time, you give them
they're
half
around.
the effort.
They're around. You just kind of know that they only give so much. Like the guy I helped yesterday, he's got better over the years. We've known each other 40, 50 years. Certain times I just don't want to see the guy. He's let me down. Where he calls me up, bang, I'm there. And he is there for me, but he's getting better at it. He's more selfish, but you have to accept the person for who they are. Don't try and change them. You can courteously say certain things to enhance the situation, which they might understand, but you just leave it, move on. That's what I've learned. And I've got a good new mate called Peter. He's come out of the blue. Yeah.
Nice. It's nice. I already feel this in my life. It's almost like a collection of people. There's a big reason why I'm doing this thing and this project of like interviewing people. It's like I'm already, and recognize I'm very young, like got this collection of humans that have influenced
Just
me.
in case you get Alzheimer's really early, you'll
Sure,
forget them all.
exactly.
You got to remember them.
Literally, I was just at Grandpa's retirement home. Literally just drove over here from there. And I was showing him the channel, like the YouTube, and I was like, within the context of sitting with him who's bloody dementia out of his mind, and, you know, you look through the other doors at the people, and they're just gone. Like, these are just carcasses.
My mum passed away. We put her into aged care 2 years ago, and she passed away last year. It's sort of, those homes are horrible. And you're there visiting her, and I used to take her favourite foods, and you'd see a trolley come out with a body. You wouldn't see the body, but you'd see.
I haven't seen that yet.
Roval Manor, brand new place, gorgeous people, but it's like you take them there, you know they're going to die.
I think it's really, every time I go there, and obviously I try to go there for him, but also for me, I'm like, this is sobering in the best of ways. Like, it's...
Was he there when it's COVID?
No.
Usually COVID, you have to go there, you've got to kind of wait outside, wait for the pushed in, wear the mask, take the test, do that. It's like, but now it's easy. But it's horrible. It's horrible.
It's just like, okay, I need to be living my life as if I am living my life, because I won't be able to. Hopefully it won't be, in 5 years, but in 50 years, I'm there, and then bloody hell, like.
I'm there now. I'm telling you, I feel like I'm still 25. I don't feel, except that I'm just a bit lazy at the moment.
Yeah, how have you been feeling, like, growing growing up and, like, age-wise?
Get fucked.
Yeah. How's it affecting you?
No, I just had a bit of heart failure probably about a year and a half ago, where I had high blood pressure, and they said I had one valve, there was some gunk in there, but I'm on tablets now. It's perfect. Blood pressure's brilliant, but I've got lazy with the tablets, It's sort of, I normally bang, 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 and it takes me hard to get, it takes a lot of work to get motivated.
I feel like when the doctor tells you you're bad right now and you need to take these to get better, it's like, okay, I'm going to take these, but then once they tell you you're better again, but you should still take it to stay better, it's like, but I'm better again,
Yeah, stop. No, I've got to see them in a year's time. So it's sort of little things like I had like a what's it called? It's sort of like a rash on my leg, sort of. I forget the name. Start with C, whatever. It's gone. It's healed up certain things, these tablets. But I take one for stop drinking alcohol. I don't think it's working.
It's like taking a tablet to help yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's either Valium or this other tablet, and it's sort of, it's sort of good. I've slowed down. Yeah.
Half a bottle, not a bottle.
Well, depends. Yeah, it's sort of down about a quarter at the moment, which is acceptable.
Yeah, for sure.
A quarter of Scotch and then a quarter of Rakia.
Yeah, wow. No, that's great.
So what else you want to know, young fella?
I don't know. What other, out of all the entrepreneurial pursuits, out of all the things that you've kind of poured your life force into, are there any other ones that we haven't touched?
2,000 hours into the AU over there. You've seen it, but you can't really.
I've seen it. I can't, to be honest, I won't lie to you. I don't feel myself to be able to appreciate it.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I just don't know what's going on. Like, it's...
that's where you get your dad in you.
Exactly. It's like a kid can't appreciate beer.
It's like I'd say you can have some people who stand right next to a Ferrari, and they go, it's like a loaf of bread. It's sort of like nothingness. And then you get some kids, I'll be at a car show, and there'll be an 8-year-old kid, oh, Dad, it's a manual too. You know what I mean? Like, it's sort of, it's sort of, like Gary, the one who helped yesterday, his boys must be 23, 24, and Gary's car mad. He's got all his cars. He's got 15, lots of good cars. And his boy never been interested in cars. 16, 17, 18, not interested. From 19, 20, got into it. Now he's got a couple of AUs, a couple of FGs. They're Fords. So he's really something, he's graduated, you know, like he's got some idea. When you get into a car and you can feel it, you drive the manual or whatever, and it makes you respect it, and you might like it, you know. But like there's people that don't give a shit.
Yeah. I think
Your car, your dad's got. No, I remember he gave me the Homer. Remember the Homer?
the Homer. Is this the thing with the Orion or whatever, the Toyota thing?
No, it's a 19.
I don't know the Homer.
It was like your grandfather's truck.
Oh,
The white
that
Homer.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I got that, and then it was up down the road there for ages. I was going to buy it back.
On this street.
No, I was down in North Road.
Yeah.
Guy got off me, bought it. It was like I did so much work to that car, the rust and everything in there. You know, you just I don't want the car, get rid of it. Don't care. You know, it's where everything I see, dollars and cents, money.
Well, I think it's a big part of it is like what makes us, for whatever reason, feel alive. You know, what makes us curious about almost everything. Like, Dad's always watching YouTube videos of pool, of like professional pool players, because he likes going to play pool, and he like that. Obviously, he tweaks and like thinks about how to make shots and spin and stuff. So I can give a fuck about pool, right? But I'm looking at things of maybe spearfishing and, you know, sailing and stuff. And
so have you watched it? I thought you guys, I know, you haven't watched Andy. Andy's it's same genre.
Yeah.
Andy's catch and fish, catch and cook, whatever. And he's got his canoe. He's up the north, up in Ireland. He'll stay and like he'll catch the crab and cook it, and he'll bring a bit of lemon, a bit of garlic, and he'll create this fucking beautiful meal from lobster. Like he's just caught the same day, and I think he vanished for a while, but it was good. Like I like watching those shows. That are interesting cooking shows. You learn from cooking, learn how to do stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. But it's just that world you're in, right? Like it's as you say. I mean, I feel like guys aren't prone to word it in such a way, but it is just like art essentially. It's like, this is the way I get creative and I express myself through what part of that front bender am I cutting off and how am I changing, and oh yeah, fuck you, the guys who don't want it to be changed. Like it's a form of expression, whether you like it or not. And I think it's the same with Dad's problem, the same with
yeah. On that two-door coupe I made there, I've always wanted a mechanical spoiler. There's no car in Australia with a spoiler which goes up and down.
They're like Bugattis and stuff.
Yeah, this one was I saw one off an Audi A7. Okay. And I bought it from Germany. I think it was $1,200. I mean, I went to Audi first. I went, got the specifications. What is it like? What do I have to do? And they said they could sell me the same thing for $12,000. Okay, but so I got
$1,200 feels very cheap.
12 cheap. So I got it over and it fitted the back of the car absolutely perfect. Like I'm looking at it, and so I cut the boot out so to fit it like you do, and like perfect. And then I added more. I wanted bigger, so I added more steel, and the poor motor. The guy makes it up and down.
It's heavier.
Yeah, so then I just made a mould of it out of fiberglass, and I made it. So I've got the same thing, identical, but made out of fiberglass, a lot lighter. It works. It needs a motor because I think I've hurt the motor. But it's automatic. You just, for me, need to do that, done.
So it's connected to the brakes, is it?
If you want, it's got 5 different settings. But like when you come up to the brakes, it'll go up. Or when you come down, go to Bathurst, you're doing 280 kilometres, 300 kilometres, you put the brakes on, it comes, it's like, it slows you down.
Keeps you on the fucking track.
That's it.
And you go around the car. So all this Ford talk, Ford, as far as I know about cars, it's like, yeah, they're the Ferrari, Lamborghini dudes, or they're like, Ford stuff. Is that Bathurst, Ford, Holden? Like,
It's nice. It's like,
I don't know.
I kind of. You believe this shit?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. It's Ford or Holden. In Australia, it's always been.
Because they were the only cars made in Australia, right?
There's Chrysler, there was Chargers certain times. It was Nissans at a certain time. At Bathurst, there's the one race a year. It's Bathurst, and it's Ford or Holden. Now it's Ford Mustang or Chevy Camaros now. So it's still the same.
So there's no Holdens in Bathurst.
No, they Holden closed. It's Camaros.
Okay.
So it's a Chevy Camaro, and they're not an actual car. They're like a configured vehicle with slightly different shapes. Looks the same, but it's made for racing.
Wow.
So not the same. But so it's always been Ford Holden. You've either been Ford or Holden. And the Ford guys go, Holden cars always rusting, and the Holden guy goes, Ford's are just Holden, just no, you don't worry about it. It's always been a war. It's like it's like Collingwood, Carlton, whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the kind of world and that's the kind of sport. Growing up, I just had no contact with at all. Like rugby. It's like,
well, then, but like I was like Aussie rules, but travelling through Queensland to the show runs every Saturday you do a show, and then Sunday you stay in that town and you watch the rugby, rugby union, or you'd watch it. I don't mind it, but like it's sort of you're how'd you say? I'm trying to figure what's around you.
for sure.
Shows you, directs you, and you're only limited by what you've got.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in such a little bubble of the world, and by the sounds of it, the way you were growing up on that road that like kind of shows life was you were just getting influenced by all sorts of Australian.
Everything, yeah.
Which is
It
really
was
cool.
like, it's sort of, you come to a situation, just tackle it, just do it. You don't hesitate. You assess. Also, too, I judgement the time where even my gate, I know I can do it in 3 sections. So close here, close there, clip that up, it's done. Not like I just time. What do you call it? There's time where you work out your time, how you do things.
Sure.
It's a name.
Optimization.
There's a name for it. It's it's just like you walk outside, you carry something to the bin while you're doing something else. Stupid shit.
Well, multitasking. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting one of like, I think a lot of the kind of norm is to try to raise a kid in a very stable, structured thing, whereas everyone I meet who is pretty interesting, whether it was growing up or whether it was in their youth, like once they were out of home, they sorted out some crazy shit to like a lot of influences so that they could develop those skills of dealing with anything that life throws at them. Yeah, it was always it always seems to be you grew up with that, so then straight off the gates you were kind of capable and competent, or if you recognise that you were just a little bubble baby, as soon as you hit 18 you probably went off to somewhere random or did something random so you could start to develop those skills. Nice.
It's hard to develop skills unless you got some initiative or some pushed in a direction. It's that's coming back to is where the children are brought up with not financial security, where they're brought up with they have to get out and make things happen. They're the ones who are going to succeed and challenge the world, where there's a lot of people who have things given to them and they're lazy.
I like that term, challenge the world.
Yeah.
I often feel things we do can be a challenge to the world, or they can be surrendering to the world. And not that either one's good or bad, but I think having the capacity to both surrender to the world, but because that's probably how you enjoy it, but also the capacity to challenge the world, whether it's challenge the laws or challenge the norms or challenge the business layout, and, put your store next door to the other one. And
oh, man, classic. You're not going to believe, okay, so I've gone bankrupt. It's coming to Christmas time. I'm allowed to store stuff into that shop because I'm renting. I'm next door, so I know the real estate, so I'm allowed to store. So coming up to Christmas, I've drilled. There's a double brick wall that thick. I've drilled a hole down the bottom, right through the wall. And I've got their phone line, and I've got it through the wall, their phone line, right? And I've hooked up to a phone. Said, no calls out of this phone, just answer it. And people around, I say, this is Kite Shop. Yeah, thank you, no worries. Yeah, good, we're open. So for 3-4 months, I was getting people ringing up, you still open? Yeah, we're open. And coming in, and it's like, it's how you look at things, take advantage of a situation.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
Oh, it was beautiful. I don't think it would work, but it worked well.
Did you know that dude? Or that family or that woman or whoever?
Well, they used to, because we're Hart's Kites, and we've been since 1960s, and they were really good. There's 2 or 3 brothers, there's about 4 of them that run the business, and they kind of bagged us a lot because they reckoned they were the ants pants of kite. At that stage, early 80s, mid-80s, late 80s, kites were really big, only because we built it up.
Okay, how big are we talking? Like, how many kite companies were there?
Would have been 2.
Yeah.
3.
I feel like this is a micro world.
Yeah, but see, there was one company in South Australia, one company down near the bay, which are basically little kite shops. We were supplying all of Australia's kites. Highly strung, we're making stuff and sending it overseas. So they were the main competition. And like when I moved next door to them, I was making good kites, but by the end I was making kites with graphite. But everything was just immaculate, we were fighting neck and neck. But in the end, they gave me some tools. They used to, because when you sew things, they were good boys, but I fixed them in the end. And they think that industry came to an end because too much crap coming from China, too cheap.
For sure.
Good move.
So you didn't need these boutique handmade kites, yeah.
Well, we used to have competition. There's competitions like you go to a kite show and there'd be 8 or 10 teams. Like each team had 4 or 5 people, and then you'd be flying in competition, doing different layouts with your kites, and you'd be playing to music, it was full on. You'd be flying interstate to Adelaide, do a big kite show there, and there'd be all these teams there, and it was very bitchy, real bitchy. I mean, you just if you go in the cars, you wouldn't know it. You're in the cars. There's some of the car clubs. The amount of crap people you just not worth being involved with.
Does part of you just love it though?
No,
it's like watching reality TV.
No. It's sort of like I was at a kite. This is highly strung with judging. I was a big kite show in Geelong, and we're flying near the beach. And I've got a stack of kites. Everybody's doing their thing. A single kite, dual control, landing. I've got a stack of kites. I've got the bar, and I'm putting up an Indian kite. I'm flying it with my other hand. I've got an Indian kite, and the water's there. I went back and I touched the water, and I was black flagged. It's like I'm doing the biggest display for the people, like, you know, and like, yeah, okay, right.
Okay.
I mean, when we flew the kites, one of the biggest tricks was an axle, when you got a kite to kind of spin around on itself. And like one kite show, I went to South Australia, and I had a beautiful stack of kites. I just make the best stacks. Like, first kite was about this big, then went bigger, to about.
So this is on the string. There's multiple kites.
No, there's two strings.
Okay.
Left and right, and then you have I think the max amount of kites I've done is 200 kites, fully controllable.
200.
Yeah. We still ring up Channel 9. Oh, guys, we're going to have a world record. They come and they do a show, but these were the ones I was competition kites at.
Sorry, real quick. So you'd want some publicity for the kite shop. So you'd make a string of 200 kites. You'd ring Channel 9.
150. They'd all come out.
Wow.
We used to have a factory in Bayswater. They'd all come out to do a show on the kites, or it was my dad would ring them up. He always ringing up the stations, you know, getting publicity. It was good times.
See, that's the kind of mindset. I feel like so few people are thinking along those lines. That what do we need to do? We need eyes on our shop, and just call Channel 9. How do we get them to want to come out? Blah blah.
It used to be just like normal. Just the problem was we never made any money out of it. Like the amount of work and stuff, like we didn't make money. And my older brother, because when you're British, the father's British, the older brother controlled. Like your mum and dad, you and your sister equal, right? Mm-hmm. My family, no. Brother, older, younger. So he kind of, I think the day he bankrupted my parents, he bought a $40,000 boat. It's sort of, he lost two houses, my house, family houses, He's just doing all his shit. That's why my kids, younger kids, they saw my brother first time when Mum was in aged care last year, 2 years ago. Never seen my brother, ever.
Okay. But you're coming back together now, right?
Yeah, we're making, but no, there's fucking mega stories there. I haven't even touched on it. Yeah, there's cameras. When I start talking about the cameras going to.
All right. Well, I guess my last question, there's a lot of entrepreneurs on the internet and a lot of voices in that space of kind of this is business and this is blah, blah, blah. And a lot of it boils down to, yes, ideas and whatnot, but a lot of them talk a lot about things like discipline and kind of just relentless and never give up and stuff like that. And I guess there's always a toss-up between being curious and always trying new things and whatnot, and that's kind of the joy and the fun of it, and also where all the opportunity is. But also I'm sticking with it, blah, blah, that's how we really get the compounding going and build an empire. Do you feel like you've actively chosen, no, I'm going to stick with just trying things out and kind of sacrifice the idea of, because maybe there's an alternate reality where you stick with kites your whole life and you're a mega millionaire through kites or through DJ or whatever it was.
Yeah, I've tried, I know what you're saying, actually I tried to become an international DJ. I tried remixing, doing stuff, but I've come to the realisation that I'm really happy with who I am, and I don't want anybody, even sometimes I will not post anything on my Facebook for a year because I don't want people to know what I'm doing. I'm doing a little bit now, but I've still got one of my pages. I got about 14,000-15,000 people follow me on Ford T Series, Tickford, I don't even know, custom Ford, Tickford spares, and I got about 4, seriously 4, and everybody else runs them. I just say, yeah, they're mine. But I don't want. It's bullshit. It's how would you say? It's a negative addictive. It's negative. Not an indulgence. It's
like the ego.
Oh mate, it's sort of. I could easily do a video every day on that car I tried a few times. I get, when you, I don't know, when you get somebody likes it goes, brrrr. You get up in the morning, you open the phone, it goes, brrrr. You put up, I don't one there, I put a photo of, I'm doing this to it. You get 400 or 500 likes in a night. It's something this at least to be like, and I go, I don't want that. And like I might, and I'm slowly, I've had a bit of a breather for a while, so I need to get back into it. But I'm happy. I'm happy. You poor guys, you have to prove yourself. You have to show, and like you got all these influencers out there making a fortune, a squillion, and all I do is show less, show less, show less, show less, which means I had enough of it. But it's sort of, you got to, as an entrepreneur, like if you can make something happen, good luck. It's sort of maybe being a mechanic is not your thing. Maybe being a journalist maybe is your thing. Maybe, like studying people, psychologist, maybe not. I'd say maybe more of a, like going, Israel, being a journalist is you. As long as you've got a deep hole with lots of water, dive down.
Yeah, that's it.
Do an interview 100 metres down.
I look forward
blah, 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 blah.
One of my best mates is in Israel, and I look forward to getting him on, interviewing him, because, it's wild over there, eh?
Oh, the world's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like Trump. I love Trump. I think he's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The world is like, some of the things that's happening, like, it's 2025, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Believe it or not.
And like, there's still wars. There's still shit. And it's all human nature. In another 1,000 years, the same shit's happening because it's human nature.
Yeah.
Because there's manipulative assholes. There's people who want to take advantage. And then there's the do-gooders who are going to be pushed down.
Yeah, a big part of me resonates with that idea of, for me as well, probably similar to yourself, very curious, want to try different things, want to have my fingers in all sorts of pies, because I want to find out, I want to explore. And part of me definitely does have that idea of, I'd love to experience what, a certain high level, high degree of success would look like. And maybe, to be honest, you kind of did that with a DJing, right? But is that all I'm going for? I don't think so. I think having some peace, having your own little corner of the world where you can be and you know yourself and you've tried plenty of things out and you've triangulated and whatnot, you've got a few good people around you, because as you say, the world's going to keep on moving and the world's going to keep on being fucked up.
Yeah.
I think part of the young anyone, let alone young man, but there's a certain thing of, if only we can do it perfectly, if only we can get the right answers, the world will fucking be perfect.
Never happen.
It's not going to be the case, is it?
Never happen. What I so funny was, everybody said the Apollo 7 was bullshit.
Oh yeah, they're landing on the moon.
Yeah, and the Indians, they've taken a photo of the Apollo 11 on the moon last few days ago.
Did they?
Yes, it's come up as for all you flat earthers, here's a photo of the Apollo 11 on the moon.
Oh wow.
So it's sort of the world fake news. I'd love to, Second World War. Germans are shit. How many Jews were in Germany at the start of the war?
I presume if they killed 6 million, I presume about that.
No, there's only 530.
Oh, but they killed all the gays and the...
No, the 6 million are...
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's fake.
But it was also in Eastern Europe. They were hauling them from all over Eastern Europe.
But you're Jewish shit coming through, you'd be running 100 miles an hour. I think, was it the Jews before the war nearly bankrupted Germany? They paid them $6 million and they kept they got a whole lot went to America, 6 million. And somehow it's fake news what we told. We told all these, what is the truth? I mean,
certainly
what happened with camps, disgraceful. Like I said, to me, the Japanese just chop your fucking head off. The Russians, they just didn't give a shit. They just massacred people. Lots, hundreds of thousands they massacred. And we told stories which support our humanity, you know what I mean? We told stuff. What's true?
Yeah, it's all that we're the good guys, and then in Russia, that like knowing plenty of Russians, it's really strong stories from there. And again, it's not that of like they won World War II, they sacrificed all these people, which is true. And then our lens of having Russians afterwards being the bad guys is, but look at all the bad stuff they did. And then if you're in the Middle East, you probably hear all these stories about the Western America and Australia being terrible. And the things they say aren't necessarily wrong, because everything has a kernel of truth. And it's just what you're wanting to be blind to versus what you're wanting to emphasize, depending on your perspective.
Guy speaking today about Ukraine. I love Ukraine. He's saying that he knows what he's talking about. Half of the armaments, guns, everything going to Ukraine is getting sold off to other countries and stuff.
Cartels and stuff.
Yeah, it's like what is?
Yeah, I think they found the Mexican cartel these like rocket launchers and stuff that the Americans had given to the Ukraine.
Yeah, it's
like, hang on, what's going on here?
Yeah, so there's
it's a wild world, and I definitely appreciate the fact of knowing that you've had a good story and you like what you like, and you do that, and you help out people. And
thanks, man. No, I kind of don't think I've only done pretty one bad thing in my life. The rest of my life, I'm pretty sure I've done great. It's a shame I'm by myself at 70, because I'd love to be with somebody. Where my problem is like I'm trying to find a good lady, and mate, the last lady I was with, she was 37, went out for 3 months, and then I tell her my age, and she couldn't handle it. And like, it's sort of it's hard, because all the ladies around my age are all dead. You know what I mean? And like, it's hard. That's my gripe at the moment. I'd love to spend time with somebody, but they're all either crazy or fucking in homes.
Yeah.
So if I take them out, I've got to return them by 6 for 6 o'clock for their meal.
I mean, I'm not saying this is advice, but a lot of dudes in your position, I feel, just go overseas, right?
Thailand.
Yeah.
I know, all my mates say Thailand.
Yeah.
Thailand.
Do they tell you, like, get your ass over here? Or?
No. Just I got a couple of things on the go. I'm all right. Like, I got my mates. One who passed away just when he loves Thailand. They all love Thailand.
But it doesn't have to be just Thailand. There's other places.
Well, you get your teeth done in Thailand.
Yeah, but I mean, there's all sorts of countries. I'm not saying that's the answer, but it's an option.
No, I want an Aussie chick that can treat me like shit, like what I'm used to, you know.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah. Is there anything?
No.
Is there anything you do different?
Yeah, but I can't put it on the camera.
Okay. So like, might involve some characters pre-mentioned.
Probably. You're trying to drill it out of me, like. No, just yeah. Like deceit. I hate deceit. I can watch movies, and when it comes up to deceit in the movie, I might watch it another day. Build up to it. No, but
sometimes you need to look at things and understand them and see them, just so you can. It's like keep your friends close, your enemies closer. Like it's like things that you're uncomfortable with. You work on each other.
Shit is shit. You don't have to put your finger and taste it. You know it's shit. And it's sort of The good thing about being of age, you can say what you want. That's the thing I've learned. My mum used to say stuff, and I say, my mum, okay, she's about 92, and she tells me a joke. And she goes, there's twin brothers, you know, one's a beautiful boy, and one's a total shit. Like he's just drug deals, murder, whatever. Anyway, mind you, she's about 92. So one brother dies, the bad one, and the other twin brother, he dies, but end of life, had a good life. Girls goes up to the pearly gates, and he goes, "Was St. Peter? Is it St. Peter?" Goes, "Yeah, yeah, St. Peter. How are you? Oh, you see my brother?" He goes, "Yeah, he's down there." He looks down, and there's his brother. He's got a blonde on his knee and a keg next to him. He goes, "What's going on?"
Down in hell?
Yeah, he goes, "Look, he's an arsehole. He's got a keg and a blonde chick." Yeah, St. Peter goes, "Blonde girl's got no hole the keg has."
Oh,
That's it. So, yeah, so there's no beer in there.
No, I get it.
So that's mum.
The mum at 92.
That one, it's a good joke.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all done?
Yeah,
Thank you.
So. Thanks, man. That was great.
How long was that?
That was a bloody while, I think.